If you've been led to this moment, know this: it's not random. There are no coincidences in a world governed by consciousness. What you call a sign is not the beginning, it is the confirmation. The world you see is nothing but the echo of your inner declarations, and this echo is about to shout something very loud: victory is near. You didn't find this, it found you. Because somewhere in your unseen life you already agreed with success. You already whispered yes to abundance. You already saw yourself winning. And now your world is catching up to that silent agreement. Big wins don't come because you beg louder. They come because you've assumed the end. The ones who win are the ones who've already felt it real. They don't question, they embody. They don't look for proof, they become the proof. You're not being warned, you're being prepared. This is your moment to align with what has always been yours. The thing you prayed for, the life you've envisioned, the results you've only dared to imagine. They are not in the distance. They are in motion. They are fast. They are bold. And they are yours. But here's the secret. You must stop chasing and start receiving. Don't look with anxious eyes, see with fulfilled vision. Rest in the knowing that it's already done. Let the feeling of victory become your new normal. Let the unseen reality excite you more than what's visible. That's when time collapses. That's when miracles don't feel like surprises. They feel like home. You're not late, you're not behind. You're standing at the edge of something magnificent. Don't question the timing, embody the outcome. Act, think, feel, and breathe like someone who has already won. Let that state of mind be your temple. Be loyal to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, because the second you dwell there, all things rearrange themselves to make it so. If you see this, take it as the whisper of your deeper self, calling you higher. This is not motivation. This is alignment. This is remembrance. You are not waiting for the win, you are the win. Now be ready, because it's coming faster than you think. Life is not responding to your words. It is not reacting to what you say in moments of desperation or what you plead for in outer form. Life is responding quietly and consistently to your inner conviction. That unseen feeling you carry within, that subtle, steady knowing, that is what shapes the world around you and the sign you've been waiting for, the breakthrough you've been hoping to see. Doesn't come to prove something to you. It comes because you have already proved something within yourself. It appears as a result of inner belief that has taken root and grown in silence. When you see the sign, you are not being given permission to believe. You are witnessing the result of having already believed. It means you were in harmony with it long before it became visible. In fact, the sign could not come until your inner world shifted. You may think you're waiting on the world to show you something before you can feel certain. But the truth is, the world is waiting on you to feel certain, to accept the unseen as real, to move in the assumption that it's already yours. Think of the world like a mirror. It cannot smile until you smile. It cannot show you success until you feel successful. The moment you expect the sign first, you reverse the law. You place cause in the external and make your inner state a reaction. But that's not how manifestation works. You must move first. You must believe first. You must create the condition inside, and then and only then does the reflection begin to change. This is why you may have found yourself seeing repeating numbers, strange synchronicities, or messages that seem meant just for you. It's not coincidence. It's the outpicturing of the vibration you've been holding inside. And if the sign excites you, it is only because it reflects the deeper truth you've already accepted, that something has shifted. Something has awakened. The invisible has started to crystallize into form. The seed has broken through the soil. So the question is not whether the sign is real. The question is, are you conscious of what part of you created it? Because if you understand this, you stop chasing signs, you stop needing proof, you stop begging the world to reassure you. Instead, you become still, inwardly aware, fully aligned with the end. You walk as if it's already done. You speak not to persuade, but to declare. You live not in the future, but in the fulfillment now. And that is when everything accelerates. The ones who manifest quickly are not lucky. They are certain. They no longer wait for reality to show up and convince them. They know that conviction comes first. They allow the world to mirror the quiet confidence they carry, not the doubts they entertain. The more they trust the unseen, the more the seen begins to move in their favor. And so if you have seen a sign, a moment, a message, a glimpse, don't ask, what does this mean? Instead say, I must have already known. Let that be your answer. Let it be your affirmation. Because the sign is not the cause of your faith, it is the effect of it. It is the echo of your internal state returning back to you in physical form. And the more you accept this, the more you will see, not because you are searching for signs, but because you are creating them. You believed, silently, powerfully, without needing the world to applaud or agree. And now the world responds, quietly, then suddenly, all at once. The sign appears only after the inner knowing. Let that truth guide you. Let it become your new way of seeing. Not outward in, but inward out. Your imagination is not a daydream, it is not a fantasy or a childish escape from reality. It is the foundation of all creation. It is the unseen blueprint from which your world is constructed. Every experience, every result, every so-called coincidence that shows up in your life is first imagined, consciously or unconsciously, and then expressed. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of what you dare to assume is true within yourself. When you consistently assume something in your imagination, you are laying down the structure for it to manifest outwardly. Imagination is the original substance of all reality. And every big win you see, whether it's wealth, healing, success, love, or transformation, begins not in action, but in inner certainty. You must first see it clearly and feel it real on the inside before it can take form on the outside. This is not about wishing. Wishing is weak. Wishing implies distance and lack. But assumption is power. Assumption is the claim, the acceptance that what you imagine already belongs to you. It is not asking for it to happen, it is declaring that it already has. And once that assumption becomes dominant, once it settles into your being as natural, everything in the external world will begin to align to confirm it. Many look at their current circumstances and think they are stuck, limited, or blocked. But what they do not realize is that they are simply looking at the result of old assumptions. Reality is always a lagging effect, a snapshot of a past state of mind. So if you don't like what you see, don't fight with it. Don't argue with facts. Change the blueprint. Go back within. Imagine again, but this time with clarity, with feeling, and with certainty. Your imagination has the ability to overwrite facts. You do not need to see how things will happen. You only need to persist in the inner vision. Life will use people, events, timing, and even accidents to fulfill what you have assumed to be true. That is how powerful you are. That is how powerful imagination is. The most extraordinary transformations occur when an individual stops reacting to the outside and begins constructing from the inside. They stop asking, what can I get? And begin declaring, this is who I am. They move through the world not as beggars of circumstance, but as creators of experience. Their wins look sudden to others, but they are not sudden at all. They are simply the visible unfolding of invisible certainty. If you knew that your imagination was the starting point of every outcome, how carefully would you use it? How deliberately would you assume the best? How boldly would you create? You do not have to fix reality. You do not have to beg life to change. You only have to build a new reality in the mind and assume it is done. The rest will follow. The world is not hard. The world is obedient. But it cannot give you what you do not first hold within. So whatever you are waiting for, the big win, the breakthrough, the aha moment where it all turns around, go to it now in imagination. Live there in feeling. Rest in the assumption that it's already yours. Then walk through your day as if that inner reality is more true than anything you can see, and if you do this consistently, your outer life will be forced to mirror it. The blueprint always comes before the building. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of chance. You are the architect, and your imagination is the tool. Use it well, and the world will follow your design. There is no power greater than your ability to feel something as real before it arrives. Feeling is not a reaction to life, it is the author of it. What you feel deeply, consistently, and truthfully becomes the signal you send out to the world. And that signal shapes everything around you. When you emotionally accept your desire as already fulfilled, you activate a force that accelerates its arrival. You collapse the illusion of time. Because in truth, time is not what causes delay. Doubt is. Most people wait to feel successful until they see the success. They wait to feel love until someone loves them. They wait to feel secure until they see money in their account. And in doing so, they place their power outside of themselves. They live as reactors instead of creators. But the ones who manifest quickly, the ones who live lives others call magical, are those who reverse this process. They feel it first. They declare within, it is already mine, and let that feeling saturate their being. And because the outer must reflect the inner, life begins rearranging to match that vibration. The moment you emotionally move into your win, not someday, but now, everything shifts. Circumstances bend, doors open, people appear, and opportunities unfold in ways you couldn't predict. Why? Because the universe is not responding to your effort. It's responding to your emotional state. Your feeling is the magnet. It draws to you everything that matches it. But here's the key. The feeling must be genuine. You can't fake it from a place of lack. You can't pretend to feel rich while secretly affirming you are broke. That contradiction causes delay. It sends a split signal. The part of you that believes it's coming fights against the part of you that believes it isn't. And this inner conflict keeps your manifestation suspended in time, like an unfinished thought. The win only comes when you're emotionally convinced that it's already done. So how do you accept the win now when nothing has changed yet? You step into the feeling state, not mentally but emotionally. You sit with the end result. You hear the conversation you would have after your success. You imagine how your body would feel, how your mornings would begin, how your face would soften with peace. You feel the relief, the gratitude, the calm certainty of, I have it now. And you do this not once but consistently. You make it your new inner home. Feeling is not a step in the process. Feeling is the process. It is the moment you create and the moment you allow. When you drop into the emotional state of your fulfilled desire, you are no longer asking, you are receiving. You are no longer searching, you are dwelling. That shift is subtle but powerful, because now you're no longer trying to make it happen. You're living as if it already has. And that is when time collapses. What once seemed far away begins to move quickly. The waiting ends. because there is nothing to wait for. You are no longer trying to get there. You are already there in feeling. The outer world, which is slow and obedient, simply catches up. Understand this deeply. Delay is only born from doubt. The longer you question if it's coming, the longer it takes to arrive. But the moment you feel it as done, as natural, as yours, that is the moment everything accelerates. Life rushes to meet the state you dwell in. So don't look at the clock. Don't measure your progress by what you see. Go within. Anchor yourself in the emotion of the wind. Let it flood your system. Walk as the version of you who has already received. Speak, move, and decide from that space, and the world will have no choice but to meet you there. The world is not deciding for you. It is not holding anything back. It is simply mirroring the state you occupy within. What you experience is not happening to you, it is happening through you. The entire system of reality responds to your inner agreement. Not your effort, not your striving, not your worry, but your inner yes. The moment you come into true alignment with what you desire and accept it as already yours, the outer begins to move in ways you never imagined. Life doesn't hesitate once you stop hesitating. This is the law that most overlook. Nothing can enter your experience unless you first made room for it within. Until you say yes on the inside, yes to the wealth, yes to the love, yes to the success, yes to the peace, it cannot come. You may say the words out loud, you may even pray and wish and work hard, but if within you are still unsure, still questioning, still carrying doubt or unwariness, then your outer world remains in confusion. It cannot override your internal state. The outside is always the effect, never the cause. You are not reacting to the world is reacting to you. Everything you see, every interaction you have, every situation that arises is a reflection of the agreement you made with yourself and the roles you continue to play. The moment you shift those agreements, when you stop identifying with lack, when you drop the belief that you are not ready, not worthy, or not enough, the world changes its tone. It opens up to meet the new terms of your identity. This is why change does not begin in circumstances. It begins in consciousness. You don't need the outer to improve for you to feel better. You need to feel better so the outer can catch up. It sounds simple, but it's the reversal of how most live. They wait, they postpone their joy, their peace, their confidence until the world gives them permission. But that permission never comes because the world is waiting on you. What does it mean to give an inner yes? It means you stop resisting the life you've been asking for. You stop arguing with your blessings. You stop imagining delays and start imagining results. You drop the stories that say not yet and you replace them with it is done. You embody the end not just with thoughts, but with feeling, tone, and energy. And from that place you move through the world differently, not with desperation, but with quiet assurance, not with need, but with clarity. The world responds to certainty, it rushes to fulfill conviction. Think of the person who walks into a room fully grounded in their worth. They don't need to speak loudly. Their presence alone commands attention. It's not force, it's alignment. And so it is with your reality. When your internal state is clear, calm, and settled in the assumption of the result, life obeys. People show up. Doors open. Ideas flow. All because your agreement is now harmonious with what you want. There is no separation between your inner world and outer life. The only gap is the distance between your desire and your belief in it. When belief closes that gap, the manifestation must appear. It's not magic, it's law. So if you want the world to say yes to your dreams, say yes first. Say yes with your emotions. Say yes with your imagination. Say yes with your posture, your decisions, your trust. When you shift the inner, the outer has no choice. Because reality doesn't argue. It reflects. And once your soul says yes, the world, in all its detail, speed, and mystery, will rush to deliver exactly what matches that state. Oh, signs are not the beginning of the journey. They are the evidence that the journey has already begun within you. Most people sit still, hoping to see something outside themselves before they move. They wait for the universe to speak first, not realizing the universe only speaks after they do. Not with their mouth, but with their assumption. The sign you want to see is not what gives you permission to believe. It is what appears because you already did. The moment you assume a thing is yours, not wishfully, not halfway, but completely, the entire structure of reality begins shifting to reflect that inner decision. And that shift is what produces the signs. The signs follow, always. They are the trail left behind by your internal certainty. They are the outer world catching up to the new frequency you've chosen. The birds don't sing before dawn. They sing because dawn has arrived. So it is with your manifestations. The signs don't come to lead you. They come to confirm that you've already led yourself. This is why waiting for a sign can delay you. It implies doubt. It says, I won't fully believe until I see. But this way of thinking reverses the order of creation. You were never meant to be a follower of signs. You were meant to be the cause of them. Your consciousness is the author. Your assumption is the spark. And the moment you boldly accept the end as real in your imagination, the signs begin to emerge not because you ask for them, but because they must. Imagine a seed planted in soil. The roots grow quietly before anything appears on the surface. The budding plant is not proof that growth can happen. It's proof that it already has. So when you see a sign, a coincidence, a repeated number, a person saying exactly what you were thinking, it's not telling you to start believing. It's showing you that your belief is already working. The assumption was made, and now the evidence is rising. Signs are not breadcrumbs you follow to find the outcome. They are echoes of your inner world projected onto the stage of reality. And the more you trust your inner authority, the more signs you'll see, not because you are chasing them, but because you're creating them. You are the source, and when the source stands still, nothing moves. But when the source decides, the world responds. So stop asking, where's my sign, and start saying, it is done. Move in that energy. Assume from the end. Feel the reality of what you want as if it's already yours. Do this with conviction, not from need, but from knowing. And then forget about signs. Let them come when they must. Let them find you when your focus is on fulfillment, not evidence. The truth is, the greatest sign you'll ever receive is the change in your own state. That inner shift, when you stop hoping and start knowing, when you stop looking outside and start seeing within, that is the real miracle. Everything else is just reflection. The signs, the results, the breakthroughs, they all follow your decision. They all follow your assumption. And the more you live from the assumption of your desire already fulfilled, the more frequently signs will appear. They will seem magical to others, but to you they'll feel natural. Of course it happened. Of course it showed up. You're no longer surprised because you've already lived it inwardly so many times that the outer is simply catching up. The sign is not leading you. It's following your lead. Your world is following your assumption. And the moment you choose to believe, without needing proof, without asking for validation, you will find that signs arrive exactly when you no longer need them. Your desire is not random. It is not an accident or a fleeting fantasy. It is the whisper of something already written, something already true. You would not hunger for a vision so deeply unless it was already yours in essence. The very fact that it came to you, that it stirred something sacred within you, is proof that it exists, not merely as a possibility, but as a reality planted in you by the deeper order of life. Desire is the first sign of fulfillment. It is the spiritual seed, and with that seed comes the guarantee of its harvest, if you will believe. The world teaches you to doubt desire. It tells you to be realistic, to settle, to shrink your expectations to match your surroundings. But the soul does not deal in logic, it deals in truth, and truth has no limits. The desires of your heart were not placed in you to tease or torment you. They are not signs of what you lack, they are signs of what already is. Waiting in the unseen, alive in the invisible realm, ready to take form through your assumption and faith. You do not need to earn what you desire, you need only to accept it. That is the shift. That is the inner move that opens the door. When you stop striving and start aligning, when you stop doubting and start knowing, the desire becomes alive in your consciousness. It takes root and you begin to feel the end as real, even before any evidence appears. And from that point forward, everything changes. Not because the world is giving you something new, but because you've allowed yourself to receive what was always yours. Every true desire is a message, a calling, a promise already fulfilled in the unseen. The fact that it came to you means it belongs to you. You did not make it up. It was revealed to you. And once revealed, it is your responsibility not to discard it, not to fear it, but to carry it, nurture it, believe in it, and dwell in the feeling of its fulfillment. That is how you bring it to life, not through force, but through inner agreement. You may wonder why it hasn't shown up yet, but the only reason for delay is hesitation within. A desire delayed is not a denial, it is a signal that there is still a part of you questioning whether you are worthy of it. But hear this clearly. If it was placed in your heart, you are not only worthy, you are chosen. And your choice now is to either reject that gift with doubt or accept it with conviction. Your desire is a seed of memory, memory of who you really are and what you came here to express. The soul never desires what it cannot manifest. The greater the desire, the more certain the fulfillment. If you do not abandon it, if you do not let the outer facts persuade you otherwise, if you stand in the knowing that this came to me, therefore it is mine. So stop waiting for permission, stop asking for signs, stop doubting your heart. The presence of the desire is the sign, it is the invitation, it is the door opening. Walk through it with boldness, live from the end, and let your life rise to meet it. You do not need to fight for what is already yours. You need only to assume it. Feel it and trust the process that began the moment the desire touched your heart. You would not want it so deeply unless it already existed, not just in potential, but in truth. And that truth is waiting, not for the world to change, but for you to say yes. What you seek is not far from you. It is already within. The sign appears only after you've dared to believe in silence. The win comes when you feel it now, not when the world proves it to you. Reality doesn't respond to effort, it responds to alignment. When you emotionally accept the end is done, you collapse time. The world begins to reflect your decision, your inner yes. Your desire is not a dream, it is a promise, a divine message confirming what's already yours. Stop looking for signs. Stop waiting for proof. You are the cause. Once you align, the world obeys. Once you feel it, the path unfolds. Once you believe, the evidence appears. There is nothing to chase, only something to claim. Thank you for listening, and more importantly, thank you for trusting in the power already planted inside you. Your big wins are not on the way. They are already here. Believe it, feel it, live it, and watch how quickly life responds.